everyone and welcome back to the Hexagon Challenge here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well. Today we round off the second phase of Liga MX in the league stage anyway against Pachuca, and we'll see where we end up in the table after the game following this and see who we play when we do enter the playoffs. So if you're looking forward to that, remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already, please consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But we are coming off winning Copa MX over the last two episodes. If you missed yesterday's, where we wrapped it up winning 5-2 on aggregate, I will leave a link in the top right corner, being our rivals Tigres over 2 legs to win our first trophy in charge here at Monterrey at pretty short notice, as well with 3 league games off the back of that, heading into the last 2 that will somewhat bring you in today's episode. So first off, we took on Dorados away from home and sneaked home with a 2-1 win here. We got off to an absolute flyer in this game. Inside the first minute, Garcia driving forward, finds Hernandez up to Puente, tucks that away nicely into the top left corner to make it 1-0. Very early on then in the 25th minute, Duffy was just trying to get outside there. Ball was played through to Garcia by Ala, and Puente with a little bit of help from the upright makes it 2-0 after 25 minutes. They pulled one back before halftime from a corner off the underside of the crossbar, and Flores got that in the back of the net for Dorados, but that was all that the game ended up being. 2-1 at halftime and at full time. You can see by the stats, not the most entertaining game, but we did enough in the first half to take the lead and held on to it. So our shots not quite up as high as they have been in most games that we've had in charge here at Monterrey, but a win's a win, and we will take that against a team who were somewhat up there and are in the playoff hunt themselves in Dorados. And off the back of that, we took on Club Necaxa at home and picked up another 2-1 win here. We opened the scoring around the 20-minute mark, a throw in which Renan puts across to Barco. Hernandez just outside the box launches a long little fizzer that finds the bottom left corner to make it 1-0. Unfortunately, in the second half, we gave away a penalty. Luna putting that away before getting a red card just before we got the second goal. Ortiz outside the box, back to Hernandez, puts one in, and a very nice goal there from Estrada, a first-time finish from our replacement right back. So a really nice goal for him there. You can see Luna just after that penalty picked up a straight red card. Renan on the ball there, and Luna just lunged in on him, and that was how the red card did happen. But a good solid 2-1 win for us there. Had to come back from a draw, but pretty solid in the end to keep our good run of form going. And going into the last few games of the season, we did have a midweek game against a team who were towards the bottom of the table in Puebla. It felt like a good opportunity to give a rotation a crack for the first time really since we've joined the club, and unfortunately it didn't pay off. We went down 1-0 at home. The only goal coming in the 11th minute from a free kick. Ponce receives the ball just outside the box, back to Gonzalez, and thunders one with some help from the underside of the crossbar yet again to make it 1-0. You look at the stats, and especially the XG, which is dark blue, so I'm not too sure if you can see it too well, but we really picked things up late trying to get the equaliser in this game. Had a lot of shots, but just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net, unfortunately, this time around. And in the end, went down 1-0 to a plucky Puebla, who get some pretty important points for them, I'd imagine, as it might take them out of the relegation zone. But a disappointing result for us there. Hopefully we can turn things around going into these last few games of the season with the first choice team back to play though. So our first loss since joining the club, which is a little bit unfortunate, but we find ourselves in second because of that prior form, which is nice to see. 1 point clear of Santos Laguna and Pumas behind us, and there's still a big cluster of teams who can still overtake us in these last 2 games of the season. Club America, we could peg back for top spot, but it's looking pretty unlikely. So hopefully we can just get a few more points to consolidate second spot in the league, and we can hold on to a top 4 spot so we do skip the preliminary round of the playoffs and enter straight at the quarterfinals. That'll be nice, but considering we joined the club when they were down around 12th and on 14 points, we've certainly shot them up the league, which is good to see, and hopefully we can take that momentum into the playoffs, which we are guaranteed to make now with only 6 points available in the season. With 12th place on 22, we cannot be outed from the playoff picture from this point on, so we will be entering the postseason. It just depends what our seeding is and what stage we do enter. But we'll come back shortly from the Estadio Hidalgo With team news for this game against Pachuca, you can see there that we've still got Willison and Gutierrez on orange injuries. They're very close to being back, but we'll probably have to wait until our last game of the season. So still a little bit light on wingers, but we'll come back shortly with the team sheet itself and this game as we look to consolidate second position in the second phase of Liga MX getting into the playoffs. So here are the team sheets for our second to last game here in the second phase of Liga MX. You can see our wingers, as we said before, are still out, nearly back, but not quite. So Villalba and Garcia are starting still for us here, but hopefully that will change in the playoffs. But otherwise, it's our full strength team, and hopefully we can get a result. Pachuca, as we've said a few times now, still not too familiar with these names here in Mexico, having only joined about a month ago in game. So we'll see what they have to offer. They've been a team that have been thereabouts in the top four for most of the second phase of the season, so expecting them to be tough opposition at home, and we'll see how we get on here, and hopefully we can consolidate that second position. And Pachuca are in this game in the silver and blue. We are in the all white for this game, and we'll be kicking off playing right to left. Pachuca going with a 4-4-2, but we'll see if we can do anything in this game early doors. Hopefully get off to a nice start, and it does remain nil early on though. 16 minutes gone here, and we have a throw in. We've looked a more dominant team early on without really getting any shots on target. We've been playing most of the game down our end in the highlights that we've seen, but Renan there with a shot which is blocked. Hernandez tries to put in the mixer, and Pachuca launch one long, but Montoya will tidy things up for us as we look to get down that right end of the paddock again, like we've been doing from what we've seen so far. Good ball over there for Ayala down this left-hand side. Back in for Hernandez, a 1-2 between those guys. Now Renan just outside the box, back to Ayala again. Puts a ball in, it's blocked, but he'll get possession back, puts one in. Villalba with a shot, and that forces a good save out. Jose Valdo does that header, so that's the best chance so far after 17 minutes falling to us, but good save, and it remains 0-0. We try and get Puente on the end of that, but it is cleared away. We keep possession in the midfield, just holding it up at the moment, although the highlight continues. Puente on the ball, he puts the ball over the top, but they will tidy that up through the goalkeeper with a long ball forward. Clayton will get on the end of it, and we'll keep going again with this highlight. So good little spell of attack for us here. Hopefully we can get a goal at the end of it. Renan making his way to infield, back to Hernandez. Barco plays it up to Garcia. Lovely ball for Ayala. First shot saved, but the second in the back of the net. That was a wonderful goal. The first time shot, that would have been really nice if that went in. Some really nice passing leading up to that, but Jose Valdo could not control the first shot by Ayala, and it ended up going in off the second attempt. Some really nice passing from us there. Barco, Garcia, wonderful back flick. Jose Valdo just can't hold on to that, and thankfully we do get the ball in the back of the net because it was a really nice piece of play, and we go 1-0 up after 18 minutes. As it is Pachuca restarting things straight off the back of that goal. They pump one long, and Clayton tidies things up for us as we just look to calm the farm and hopefully keep hold of this 1-0 lead, if not make it 2, as Puente is on the ball for us. Now Villalba down the right-hand side loses out position to Flores, and they now look to get something going down the left. Do Pachuca, Escobar up to Villacota. He just holds the ball up. Clayton nearly getting possession back. Should have got it back there. Lara will put this in the back of the net, and he is onside. Okay, I thought he would have been off there. And just like that, and it is back at level terms. That's a little bit frustrating. I thought Lara, when I first saw this ball played, was well offside. We really should have got that ball there. The defender just too easy, giving up on that ball. And Lara, a nice ball to play him through. We'll check the offside. No, we won't. So he must have been fairly onside. And it does remain 1-1. We have a free kick in the 20th minute. Montoya with a header in the back of the net. And we make it 2-1. That's a very quick passage of goals. 3 goals inside 3 minutes. And we make it 2-1. So we strike back after they strike back. Good free kick. Montoya at the far post with his good heading and height. And just like that, 2-1 after 22 minutes. 28 minutes gone here, and Pachuca with a free kick as we look to collect ourselves after a quick flurry of 3 goals, which ended in our favour. Good ball there for Lara, straight at Schneller though, and it remains 2-1. 41 minutes gone here, and Pachuca with a free kick, so things have calmed down since that flurry of goals around the 20-minute mark, still holding the 2-1 lead. Montoya boots that clear. They hit it forward. Luckily, Paulo ties things up for us, and Villalba wins that ball, so we look to get a counter going down the right-hand side. Unfortunately, loses possession as he was just starting to get going, and it is Pachuca in possession again. Escobar just making his way forward, holding the ball up in the midfield, and now driving forward slightly over to Oliver, just inside the box, and they look to equalise late. They put a ball in Lara with a header. It's in the back of the net, but it seems as though it's going to be offside. Apparently our defenders are appealing for it. Didn't look as obvious as the first goal, actually. I thought the first goal looked pretty offside. Obviously it wasn't, because they gave it and VAR didn't even check it. But this time they do give it for offside. We'll just see how tight this was. Not much in that, maybe a foot offside. Good finish with a volley, in fact, but it remains 2-1 as we get closer to halftime. And that is halftime here in this game at Pachuca, holding a 2-1 lead after a flurry of goals in between the 18th and 20th minute, where we went 1-0 up. Then they equalised to make it 1-0, but then from a free kick, we got the advantage back, and it's 2-1. A quick flurry of goals, and outside of that, not a lot happening, to be fair. You can see stat-wise, we have had more shots, about double overall shots and those on target. So probably deserving this lead at the moment. Hopefully that can continue in the second half, and we can consolidate that second position going into the final game of the second phase of the league season in Liga MX. 49 minutes gone here. We have a throw in, but it's deep in our half. We launch it forward to Garcia, though, and start to drive forward towards the halfway line, and now we're in the right part of the field. Good run. This is a slide tackle. It falls to Villalva as we look to make a good start to the second half and hopefully get a cushion goal. It's a dodgy save there from Jose Valdo from the shot, but he does keep it out in the end, and it does remain 2-1 early on in the second half. 54 minutes gone here, and I think we're going to make our first substitution of the game. Barco is on both a yellow card and a yellow heart, as well as a 6.5 rating, so we'll bring De Luna on for him, tell him not to ease off tackles, and we'll carry on with this 1-goal lead. 63 minutes gone here, and we have a free kick. Renan tries to find Garcia, back post, puts it in the back of the net, but there's no graphic up, and I think this time it is going to be us that has a goal ruled out because of offside. VAR comes down to check it and can't really tell the writing, but it seems as though it's going to be offside. Look pretty similar to the one that they got second time round in the first half, and there's not much in that at all. That's a bit of a dodgy call, VAR, but 2-1 as we get up to the 67-minute mark. And now we have another free kick. Renan going for far post. Paolo with the header just over the bar, so we're coming close, but we still hold the 2-1 lead. 77 minutes gone here. We still hold the 2-1 lead as we get inside the last quarter now. Hernandez on a red heart, though, so we'll bring Gerardo on for him and hopefully hold on to this lead as we get into the later stages of this game. And shortly off the back of that substitution, it is Pachuca with a free kick. They pump it long. Milton just inside the box. What's he going to do? Gets past his man, fires a ball across to Lara. That's a soft goal to concede. That would have been Clayton at right back, who's just allowed that ball across far too easily, and Lara gets a double and they equalise yet again. Feels a bit harsh. I thought we've been pretty good value for that lead. I'm pretty sure that's Clayton, indeed it is. And that's just a simple ball. Lara unmarked at the far post. It's pretty sloppy from us, and it's back all square with 10 to go. And with 8 minutes to go, we'll make our last sub. I think what we're going to do here is take Garcia off, and we'll try Lucas Nunez, who can play somewhat on the left wing. So we'll see how that goes for these last 8 minutes. A good striker, of course, our backup. We'll see if that just gives us a little bit more going forward, but we'll try it. You can see he can actually play left wing there, so not the bad stats for it. So we'll give it a crack, see if we can get this winning goal, because at the moment, 2-2 as we enter the last 10. And we do have a corner shortly off the back of that substitution as the players get in position after the sub. Renan's going to put this into the mixer. It's put in. Paolo with a header just wide, not much in that. And unfortunately, still locked up at 2-2 as we get into the last 10 minutes. 94 minutes gone, only 20 seconds left. Pachuca in possession in the right area of the field for them. They have an attack. Montoya hoofs it long, and hopefully that will be it unless we can get possession back. It looks like we're going to be held to a draw here, and indeed we will. It's a little bit frustrating. I thought in the end we were pretty good value for that win. You look at the stats, pretty much doubled them everywhere, but yeah, they were pretty clinical with their chances. A little bit soft that second goal, it has to be said. And unfortunately, we can only get a draw after this game. So hopefully that's enough for us to stay in the top 4 hunt. Anyway, hopefully results around us go our way, and we'll see what the table looks like before we play this final game of the season off camera and see where we end up seeding-wise. And luckily for us, it seems as though most results did go our way. Pumas have jumped ahead of us, so hopefully we can overtake those guys, because based on what we've seen since we've come to the club, I feel like we are better than them, but we've only dropped down to third, so we're still in a spot where we can try and overtake Pumas, and are still in a spot where we can skip that preliminary round. So we'll come back shortly, play that off-camera game, the last of the season, and see where we end up and who we will be playing in the first round that we enter of the playoffs in the second phase of Liga MX here in Mexico. So we are back, and we took on Deportivo Toluca in that last game of the season, and the bad news is it was a 0-0 draw, so no highlights from that game. I'm not too sure how we didn't win this game. We really should have got a goal, as you can see by the stats. Bit of a frustrating result against a team who didn't really offer much. Their defence did play well, and their goalkeeper, so did ours. But yeah, a little bit frustrating that we couldn't get the ball in the back of the net, albeit the likes of Wellison and Gutierrez did get some match fitness, so that might be important as we head into the playoffs. But luckily, that point was enough for us to secure second. So Pumas unable to pick up points on the final day, and no teams could go past us with their games either. So luckily, we qualify second, which is a nice place to be in, and that will see us skip the preliminary round, which has already taken place. We can tell you who we're going to be playing in the quarterfinals with a good little rest since that last game of the season. And we are going to be taking on Querétaro FC. That is a team who, if we go back, finished up in third. So that's a pretty difficult tie for us, considering the teams that we could have drawn. They're a team and a pretty decent run of form too, quite similar to us, perhaps going slightly better at the moment, you could argue. So that's an interesting tie for us against a team who didn't have to go through one of those preliminary round games. As hopefully you can't hear the rain right now. It's absolutely bucketing down outside as I try and do this video, so hopefully that's not too noticeable. But in tomorrow's episode, the quarterfinals of the Torneo Clausura in Liga MX, and we'll be taking on third place Querétaro in both leagues, the away league first, so we do have home advantage for the second league because we finished second, so that's nice to see. But a more difficult opponent than I would have imagined that we would have got. Obviously, the seeding's not actually mattering that much when they do the draws here in Mexico, but we were able to skip around, which was nice. That good patch of form after we joined the club up until the Puebla game, proving crucial in us getting up to second, which feels like a pretty decent achievement considering that we were 12th when we joined the club. But that will do for today's episode, and from here on out, you'll be seeing every game for the rest of the season. Hopefully there's quite a few, and we can get through the quarterfinals tomorrow and then make our way to the semi-finals, because if we can win that, we'll be in a final, and that will mean that we get Champions League football next season, which would be very nice. And from there, if we get that far, we can hopefully win a title and make it a double for the year since we've joined the club, which would be a heck of an achievement and feel a bit more notable than our earlier Copa MX, when we didn't really have to do a lot. If we were able to win the title off the back of what we've done in the latter part of the season here, that would be a decent accomplishment, as I said, considering they were down the table a fair bit when we got here. But as I said, that will do for today's episode. Tomorrow, Querétaro over 2 legs as we try and make our way into the semi-finals of the Torneo Clausura in Liga MX. If you did enjoy today's episode, a draw against Pachuca, but we still qualified second. Remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already, also hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. And until tomorrow when we have knockout football, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.